republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Wald, would you lead us in a prayer, please?
Father, we come to you tonight to ask for your guidance for the city business. Watch over us, Father, as we go about this tonight. Watch over our city, watch over our citizens. We ask all this in your Son's name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Okay, we'll take roll call, please.
Mike Duffy.
Present.
Jeff Hancock.
Present.
Jerry Walden.
Present.
Aaron Dickens.
Here.
Mark Koger.
Here.
Lynn Purdue.
Here.
Rex Beckenthal.
Here. Okay, we're looking at the minutes. We have a motion to
I'd
accept.
like to make a motion to accept the minutes from the previous meeting.
Second.
Okay, moved in second to accept the minutes from the previous meeting. Roll call vote, please.
Mike Duffy.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Jerry Walden.
Aye.
Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Mark Koger.
Aye.
Lynn Purdue.
Aye.
Rex Beckenthal.
Aye. Okay, that brings us to approval and/or additions to the agenda. Does anybody have any additions? Hearing none, we'll just consider it approved. And that brings us to, Chief, would you like to start this? Is this Newcastle Fire Department? Please.
Good evening. My name is Chase Hauser. I am the president of the Newcastle Firefighters, Local 1722. First, I'd like to congratulate everyone on winning their political campaigns this year. We really appreciate what you guys have done for us, and we hope with our efforts we have shown our appreciation for that.
Appreciate it also.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
So the reason why I'm here, firefighters are always trying to raise money to give back to their communities in any way that they can. Every year, firefighters around the United States come together for the month of October to raise money for breast cancer awareness. The breast cancer fundraiser is one of our popular fundraisers. And this year, from the shirt sales, we raised $1,743 in the addition to the ball drop money that we had from the golf outing. It was a 50-50 ball drop, or not 50-50, I'm sorry. There were some payouts, and then after that we were going to split 50-50 the profits, and we just decided to throw all $650 towards this fundraiser. So after that brings our total to $2,393. A little bit of the backstory to why we're here. We set out our shirt sales, the fundraiser account stuff, and this little girl came up to the station. She said, I want as many t-shirt order forms as she could get. So I give her a handful, and she went off running. Her grandmother told me that she was going to fill every single one of those. Her name is Bella Carroll. Her great-grandmother had passed away from breast cancer when there wasn't a lot of help like there is today. So in honor of her great-grandmother, she wanted to help raise the money in any way that she could. About the time that we sent out the orders was around the same time as her great-grandmother's birthday would have been. So in honor of that, it just kick-started the movement for it. And it had an even more special meaning to her because she knew how much her Mamaw Beth missed her. Bella sold 20 shirts on her own and helped spread the word drastically. After our union meeting last week, we decided to round our total up to $3,000 to show our appreciation for her efforts. We asked her to present the check to the Henry County Cancer Society, and would like to present her with our first Hometown Hero plaque as a small token of our gratitude.
Good.
Here's this. You got it? Here, look over here. Good.
Chase,
Okay.
turn this one a second, please. That's a good picture.
Okay, and then, got this. And if you want, okay, he's already got it up for you. So it says NCFD, and it has the logo from the breast cancer shirt, local 1722 with Bella Carroll's name, hometown hero of the year with 2023 on the flag. You're welcome.
Chase, thanks, you guys, thanks for all you do. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bella, if there's any chocolate in those bags that you'd like to share, we'd love to share around here. Congratulations. Thank you for all your work and your effort. Really meant a lot to the fire department and to the Breast Cancer Association. Thank you very much. Pretty cool.
Okay, Mr. Murphy, would you like to come up?
You want to let them? You want to dismiss them if anybody needs to?
Yeah,
leave?
anybody else that needs, if you need to go, you don't have to sit through the whole meeting. Oh, okay.
Well, thank you for
All
coming.
right, well, okay.
Well, thank you for coming.
Corey, I just got rid of you, we got rid of your audience, didn't we?
Did you talk to Lee Walker before the meeting?
Corey, do you need me to stay?
Oh, yeah.
Sure, you're welcome to.
Too far for me to walk to. Give me right back home. Good to
Thanks,
you guys.
Bobby.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be last out.
Bye, Dan.
Good to see you, gentlemen.
Good to see you too. Okay, now we'll have Mr. Murphy come forward.
So clear house.
Good evening, members of the city council, mayor, clerk treasurer, city department heads. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
At your station, I placed a folder. In the left-hand pocket is some papers. In the right-hand pocket, so I'm going to start with the right-hand pocket. This is the third printing of our travel guide. Same basic design, but every time we print it, we make a few changes. In fact, as soon as we print it, it's out of date. Something changes, but wanted to make sure you have this. If you want extra copies, give us a call, send us an email. Penny in our office, we have basically a spreadsheet of places all over the county where we've delivered them. And once a month, she checks in with a few of those people to make sure they stay in stock. We printed extra, although probably not enough. We printed extra for this event that's happening April 8th of 2024. Something about total eclipse of the heart.
Yeah.
All right, you guys were listening.
Yeah.
Total eclipse.
Are
So
you singing or?
yes. And so there's going to be some planning activities that our office coordinates in regards to the total eclipse. We're coordinating with Emergency Management Associate, or the Emergency Management Director and the Public Health Director. There will be a community-wide planning meeting in early January. And when we get the date set, we'll publicize that, send it out. The target audience of that are those that are planning an event. But it would be open to the public as well. I think we have a real opportunity for a lot of people to be in our community, and they just very well may be on the roadside watching, hopefully with appropriate eye care. But I know several organizations are planning events. We're attempting to promote those events if we know about them, and so that's on the tourism website, hoopsandhenry.com. Before I go to the left side of the packet, actually we'll just start with, if you're a Star Wars fan, you'll get the reference. It says attack of the QR codes. You know, that's a play on the Clone Wars, Mayor.
I was gonna say, do you want to show a hand? 'Cause
Yeah,
think
no, I
everybody
don't want to
just
show
see a few of
hands.
it.
Anyway,
Well, it sounds like to me, somebody needs to step up to the plate.
these are, so we produce an e-newsletter from the Economic Development Corporation. You can scan that QR code in the middle and sign up. We do a tourism e-newsletter twice a month in the summertime because there's that much going on. You can find me on LinkedIn, really active on LinkedIn, so these are ways to stay in touch with what's going on. Before I go on to the rest of the packet, part of our role at the Economic Development Corporation is to respond to leads for business attraction purposes. Oftentimes, we don't know the name of the company. We really don't know anything. It's kind of like blind dating. They put out a profile. If you match most of the profile, you submit. And sometimes we don't have a lot of time to respond to those questions. If you recall in the past, I've described this as a process of elimination. Think of a funnel. They want to get you off the island, get your site off the island as quickly as possible. And they do that. One way they do that is by asking questions in an RFI, request for information. And I just wanted to publicly thank the city water superintendent, the city sewer superintendent, and his staff, their staff. We had an RFI come through a couple weeks ago, and the number of questions for this RFI was about 450. 450 questions, right? Now, the mandatory questions were 115. And so there was no way that I was able to answer the water and sewer questions without going to your department heads and their teams. Same with electric, same with gas. We try to have as much information about our sites as possible, but I appreciate the support from the city and particularly those department heads. So thank you. This is a photocopy of the Chamber of Commerce magazine. They asked me to write a column, so I try to get multiple uses out of this. You might want to line this in your litter box, right? Or you can use it to read and go to sleep early tonight. But the point here is there's a lot going on across the county. And I even forgot, I forgot to include the large bakery and distribution over on Troy Avenue. So it's not included in there. So there is a ton of activity going on. Over $175 million worth of capital investment, more than 150 new jobs, and a lot of what I'll call institutional reinvestment, and then housing. So a lot going on. The next item I want to quickly transition into READY, and this is READY 2.0. I've given you a handout. So the state, this is the second round of READY. The Indiana Economic Development Corporation says, organize yourselves in regions. Put together a plan and apply for money. So you can see how the state has organized itself. We are in orange, I think. I'm a little colorblind, but I can read. So Henry, Delaware, Grant, you can see us there. And so that's the East Central Indiana Regional Partnership. The state allocated up to $500 million for this program. The maximum a region can receive is $75 million. Now, the catch on this is the ideal. So let's go to the next handout. This is a frequently asked questions put out by the state. And I'm going to go to this. I'm going to go to the second page, and so this one's front and back. Just the back of the first page. Left-hand column, second one from the bottom, it says, what are the match requirements for Ready 2.0? The IDC's program policy establishes goals for the initiative in each region with an expectation that there is a 1-to-1 public match. So for every $1 of Ready, the state wants $1 of public. And a 3-to-1 private philanthropic match. So that mirrors the requirements of Ready 1.0, the match requirement like in Ready 1.0. And here's where it gets a little confusing. That last sentence. The match requirement, like in Ready 1.0, is not project-specific expectation, but rather a regional program-wide goal. So think of your retirement fund, right? It is a collection of funds, and some are going to do better than others, and you hope overall they grow. That's the same way to look at this match requirement. The preferred capital stack, or the preferred funding sources on a project is this. Preferred, not required. 20% Ready, 20% local, 60% private. Now, if we're funding a sewer line, and it's not going to a specific business, but maybe it's going to a piece of ground to make that ground more marketable, it's going to be really hard to get private support on that project. So that is an example where that preferred may not happen. It may be 50-50. So there's a lot of room for conversation on how the money flows. Overall, the state's going to look at their $500 million, and they want at minimum leverage 4 times. Minimum 4 times.
Or let's say the Orange region receives 75 million. And I know that you sent out asking for projects. Does that 75 million go to the region and then separate it out and buy, let's say, Newcastle had a project? How does that work?
Good question. So the way it works in round 2, as I understand it now, because the state will adjust as they go along. So we had our call for projects in the region. Call for projects were due on Friday, November 17th. The region will submit its plan in February. The state will make funding allocations in April or May. That's what they say now. Then we will engage in conversations with the state on project by project. So the state is, so what's different in round 2 versus round 1, the state is going to be much more involved in the selection of projects.
So a project for Henry County might be an interchange of State Road 103. That'd be appropriate?
It could be.
Okay.
Which leads me to this one pager here. This is a good summary of regional goals, state goals, state KPIs, key performance indicators. So we have region goals, state goals, and then state key performance indicators. If you want to learn more about this or have questions, maybe you don't think of it, I've already went over my time, I realize that. You can call me, you can email me, you can also go to forgeeci.com, click on Ready. There's all kinds of information about this program. I think when it comes down to it, back to Jerry's question, it's going to be a 3-way. Anybody square dance?
5th grade.
Okay.
Rolling Indian?
This is going to be like a square. It's going to be like a square dance.
Do-si-do.
Went the wrong direction.
See, who could inject a metaphor like that into this? It's going to be a conversation locally, right? It's going to be a conversation regionally, and then it's going to be a conversation with the state. And as I have said before, behind this table here, the projects that are going to get funded or the projects, wait for it, are ready to go. Everything ready to go. There'll be some time, but if I know the state, they'll want that money drawn down very, very quickly because they'll want to be able to maybe go back in the next budget year. Of course, we'll have a new governor by then, and ask for more. Finally, I wanted to give you a preview of just one of the projects that relates to the city of Newcastle. And so you have two print-offs of the beacon. And so this is one project. In collaboration with the City Redevelopment Commission, we identified some ground in the corporate limits of Newcastle as a potential location for residential development. And we're partnering with a developer, DC Develop. They're based in southern Indiana. They have active projects in North Vernon. They're working on a project in Scottsburg. They have projects in Charlestown, Indiana. We're actually brought together and introduced in part by the efforts of John Kendrick. And so they know what they're doing. They have a good track record. And most importantly, they have relationships with builders. They have not identified the builder yet, but they're talking to a builder out of Indianapolis that may come over and want to build. They're also talking out of a builder out of the Louisville area that has the capacity and the wherewithal to come up here and build. 20 years ago, when I got into this business, I never dreamed that I'd have to know something about residential development. Here we are. I'm gonna tell you what it's not, okay? Because we're still working on what it exactly looks like, but I'm gonna tell you what it's not. It is the price of the home is not set by your income, okay? We're only gonna, the developer is only gonna look at a person's income to make sure they can afford it. The price is not going to be set by an income. It is going to be as affordable as possible, but not subsidized in such a way that most of our people aren't going to be able to live there. Price point, don't know for sure, but we're aiming between $275 and $300. Unless we put a mobile home in there, which we're not, right? Let me repeat, we're not. That's where we're at in terms of just the cost of building. We applied for READY. READY will cover infrastructure. We're going to look at what I call the 1005 program. The 1005 program is through the State Revolving Loan Fund. It is $50 million available to communities for infrastructure, specifically for residential projects. It is a long-term, low-interest loan. We'll look at those too. It is going to be dense development. Again, we want to drive down the price as much as possible. And we're looking at these as one project, 2 parcels. The Washington Street happens to be on city-owned ground between Wilbur Wright School and the Salvation Army, but also the park. So just located between the park and the school offers some unique factors. This property here, identified as Myers Realty, privately owned. That owner is willing to work with the developer on a timing basis, because we won't know whether we have funding until next summer.
They've already cleared a lot of the brush and
Yep.
trees and things like that. Usually you couldn't see that, now it's very visible.
And what's beautiful about both of these properties is there's water and sewer pretty much all around it.
Yeah.
And so that drives a significant cost in terms if you have to extend water and sewer very far. If we don't get ready funding, I don't know if either one of these happens. The state has realized that there's a significant shortage of new homes being built, and that's one of their key performance indicators. In our region discussions, we've identified it as a regional need, and so I wanted to bring you up to speed about one of Newcastle's projects as it relates to Ready. I'd be happy to answer any questions about Ready or other economic development or tourism. And at some point, I think maybe after the first of the year, I'll come back and I'll dedicate some time to an airport update. Myself, Keith Pritchett, Don Cummings, Paul Jansen, and Tom Green serve on your Board of Aviation Commissioners, and we're very active in partnership with NDOT and the FAA and moving the airport forward. And so both on economic development and on the airport, I appreciate your continued support. And like the last speaker said, boy, that's a long time ago because I'm long-winded. Congratulations on your
Appreciate everything you
on
do.
your election.
Thanks,
Really
Corey.
great.
Corey.
Thank you.
No matter what Lee Walker says, thanks.
This is different from the Eastern Indiana Regional Planning.
It is.
Does the city need to have a representative on this one like we do with the?
Great question. So each of the 8 counties involved in the East Central Indiana Regional Partnership have 2 representatives on the steering committee. Your representatives are myself and the Community Foundation executive, Jennifer Fox. So we're at the table advocating for Henry County, advocating for projects within this community, and I'm confident that it will be fair. Will other counties get maybe more than us? Yeah, they might, but keep in mind, they got to come up with that match too. They got to come up with that match.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any other citizens wishing to come address the council tonight?
I got something.
Okay.
Hopefully I'll be short. I'm
We
always
are
short.
gonna make you.
You are short.
Go ahead and stand
Hilarious.
up.
I'm,
We're just gonna say stand up.
it's so funny.
I didn't know that one.
I'm Carrie Barrett, Executive Director of Newcastle Main Street. And as a precursor to our application for the Preserving Grant, which we won, I don't know if you guys heard, we won $2 million. And, but you guys allocated $50,000 for a downtown development plan. And so I emailed everybody on Friday. I got 3, it's okay. I got 3 proposals for that downtown development plan. And I spoke with Okra about that and went over the proposals. And I'm recommending that we go with Taylor Siefker Williams Design Group. But I'm not trying to spend your guys' money without you knowing it.
Were they close in price, the 3?
It's weird how everybody was $50,000.
Where have I heard that
Your
before?
magic number there.
I wonder how they came up with that.
I think they know. Okra's got a grant for, when they do these kinds of things, it's always about 50.
So you feel
Brenner
good
was
about-
45.
You
I'm
feel
sorry.
good about TSW then?
Yes, and we're working with them on something
Right,
else.
several other things.
And so, and Okra felt good about them because,
You okay? Yeah. Well, I'll make a motion that we use TSW for our downtown study.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Yeah, they're doing it that way too. So it's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? Hearing none, will roll call vote, please?
Mike Guthrie.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Jerry Walden.
Aye.
Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Mark Coker.
Aye.
Lynn Purdue.
Aye.
Rex Steckenball.
Aye.
thank you very much, guys. I'm looking forward to getting started on this. And I did just briefly give you a preserving grant timeline, which is only 2 years, and it's a little bit terrifying, so. But I didn't want to keep you guys informed.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Carrie.
Thank you.
Appreciate all you do.
Okay, anybody else would like to speak? Okay, Then we'll move on to our committee and council reports. We'll go to Mr. Guthrie.
Well, just happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Okay, Mr. Hancock.
Yeah, I wish everybody happy Thanksgiving also, and I just need to, what's the status on Midway and Crystal Street on that street light? We had Rex had a petition and all that, we talked, I think it belongs to RMC. Have we moved forward or anything?
Yeah, I've been out there twice, early morning, late evening. When the power doesn't extend on down there, it really would be better off if that homeowner wants a light there, that they, it would be their own private light.
Okay. That's all, Your Honor.
Mr. Walton.
Just want to say something about Steve Pass. He's stepping aside from President of Newcastle Little League. Steve through his leadership, has really guided that program in the right direction. Up around 500 players last couple of seasons. Diamonds are best shape they've ever been, and I just want to congratulate him on a job well done. He's put a lot of time, heart, and effort into that facility, so just want to mention Steve. Also, on November 30th at 1:30 at the Habitat Building, there will be a meeting that's been organized by the Henry County Housing Committee concerning affordable housing. There are different entities that will be there in attendance to get the discussion going on that. So anyone's welcome. I'll be there since I'm representing the council for the Henry County Housing Committee, but anyone's welcome to hear the conversation. And don't overeat on Thanksgiving like I always do. Enjoy your families, and take some time to give thanks. That's all I have.
Okay, Mr. Dickin.
Being a representative of Ward 4, was hoping that maybe Mr. Phipps, Mr. Barker could kind of give an update on the third-party disaster that's kind of happened in terms of water main break. Obviously, we've seen the water department and Public Works scramble to try to mend that back together, which is super appreciative. I'm getting questions, obviously, about property damage and, you know, in terms of insurance, what they need to do about that. So, I mean, if anybody can chime in, that'd be great.
We have a conference call with our insurance company tomorrow.
Okay.
We did recommend that all homeowners actually stay with ServPro or somebody to make sure that we don't have any mold, get everything cleaned up. We've already had some estimates on foundations. I'm sure the insurance companies want to see 2 or 3, but I think all of them's got, I think, 1 quote from Indiana Foundations over in Indianapolis. But we're trying to stay on top of it with our insurance company, try to make something happen as quickly as we possibly can.
Right. Well, I've advised people that when you have, 3 insurance parties involved, they're usually 3 fingers pointing around in a circle. So just hopefully, we'll stay on that, and hopefully these homeowners can get taken care of while everything's in subrogation with the insurance companies, I would hope.
Aaron, we're also going to try and get some legislation for us to maybe prevent some of this from happening in the future.
Yeah.
Mr. Huggins will work on that.
Great. Other than that, I got a chance to spend some time with my friend Nathan Schmidt last Tuesday. Last spring, doctors gave him like 3 to 6 months cancer diagnosis. They had their child number 7 last summer during treatment, and he's not doing real well, but got a chance to talk to him and just kind of puts things in perspective on what's important, what's okay to stress about and what's not, and even when your kids are screaming and running down the halls, those are the precious moments. So just keep that in perspective this Thanksgiving season. That's all I have.
Mr. Koger.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Also, the I'm gonna stay on top of this and like to have this done, early in the spring as on the railroads. Squeaky wheel gets the oil, so like to see that done. Appreciate you. Go.
Mr. Pruitt?
I have nothing this evening.
Okay, I just got a couple of things. One thing was I got to participate in the opening meeting for the Preserving Indiana Grant. It's an exciting thing, and a lot of good things are happening. A lot of good people are working on that. The other day I was at Temptations, and I looked up, and here came Penny York and Kelly, and they introduced me to a young man. I'm not going to say his name. I respect his privacy, but he was a person that came here as a result of Make My Move, which is what we voted to help fund that and everything. And he was pretty impressive. He actually works for some company in Nashville, Tennessee, and lives here. And not only is he plugged in here, but he's also got him a part-time job right here. Maybe not part-time, but he's going to be the soccer coach at Anderson University when he's not doing all that. So anyway, he was quite impressive, and it was kind of good to put a face with a program. So I really enjoyed that. And Mayor York mentioned it in Finance Committee meeting. If you drive down 18th Street, you'll notice our wall there at 18th in Indiana has been repaired by the city, and it looks good, and it's nice to have that done. Appreciate Mayor getting on that. So that's all I've got, Your Honor. I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you. Chief, you have anything?
I do not.
Chief? Kenny?
Another guy willing to build a barn dominium. We don't have anything in our ordinance that talk that keeps it from doing that. I know we brought it up to council before. They got going too crazy about barn dominiums.
No.
But there's nothing in our ordinance to prevent it.
We need to do something about that.
Rex, is this a good time to do this with the updating of the ordinances and zones?
Well, I would say, yeah, it doesn't hurt to do it now, and go through everything, but that would just be,
I think it's time to have Joel
Yeah.
pull it and
see what it says.
see what it says,
we do.
reword it. How soon is he wanting to build? I mean, how quick we got?
Well, actually, this parcel of land has some acreage. If there was gonna be one, there'd be a spot for it. And it's not just 50 by 100.
Is it in the city limits?
It is, barely.
Maybe the amount and the size of the lot has something to do with it.
That's what I was.
Yeah.
But anyway, Joel can look into that and see what maybe some other places have done on that.
Typically, when I looked at your brief, it's been size of lot. In other words, you have a lot that would be more typical for being in a rural area that happens to be within city limits. Sometimes those buildings typically are on the edge of the community and surrounded by other rural type properties.
I've talked to several of my friends about that back when it first came up, getting their thoughts on it. And I think the consensus was that as long as the barn type siding is not used on the side of the home, most of them agreed it's okay. I mean, the barn roofing, that's become very common.
Right.
In Millis, it's very common, it's kind of been accepted. But most of them said they didn't have a problem with that. But as far as barn siding on a home, they wouldn't want it in their neighborhood. So basically, they said, I don't want it on my street.
Well, that's up to you guys to discuss.
Yeah.
I mean, that's your point.
Well, if we get something written up, then we can bring it out, we can look at it, we can discuss it.
Myself, I like sleeping underneath the tin roof when it's raining and
It is
the
nice.
patter of the rain sounds good, but I don't know that I want to live next door to somebody that has. Anything else, Ken?
That's all I have.
Dan? Dave? Council?
I don't have anything.
Brenda? Kendra? Greg?
Just in reference to our unfortunate incident, I'd like to commend the police, the water plant, they did a fantastic job. I mean, that happened again, an 8-hour shift, and they were out there for another 16 hours. So they were days later, the resident was in another situation, and they worked 17 hours. Nobody complained, nobody complained, they did their job. That's the reason.
Agreed.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Agreed. Thank you. Lee?
Everybody have a nice Thanksgiving, and the trash will run as normal Thanksgiving.
And just for the record, tell them why our workers are working Thanksgiving morning.
That was their choice, because that way when they get off, what normally had happened for the last 2 years, we'd be off Thursday, we'd have to come back in Friday, okay? This way we'd come in Thursday morning, we work till about 10:30 or 11, trash is done for the week, they go home, they don't have to come back until Monday. So they get
And that was all their choice, wasn't
That
it?
was their choice.
Yeah.
And it's not something that the city's forcing them to do, it was an idea. This is the 3rd year that we've done it, they like it, they want to do it, and so, I know there were some things on social media that's horrible that we're making them do that. It's not that we're making them do it, it's they chose to do it because, well, in their contract, if you look at the contract, they're rewarded pretty well for doing this on top of that, and then it gives them the rest of the week involved. Or if they want to go somewhere, they can go. And no one's forced to work, it's totally voluntary.
I just wanted people to hear you say that, because I knew that was the case, but I know there's been some people that have groused about it.
It's nothing new. I mean, this is the 3rd year that we've done it. So I'm not sure why this year, well, I do know why this year was it.
You're right.
But that election's passed, so, but that's why an issue this year.
Thanks.
Well, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving also, but Jerry, I disagree with you. I plan on eating too much twice and taking a nap on both ends of both of those meals, so.
Sean, can you and I ever eat too much?
Well,
I mean, it's kind of bottomless.
So,
We
that's
start
what
out with
Thanksgiving's for.
dessert, though, right?
That's what Thanksgiving's for. Everybody have a happy Thanksgiving and enjoy your family. It's a busy world, and spend as much time with your family as you can going through this holiday season. Be safe. That's all I have.
All right, thanks. Okay, we'll go to resolutions. Our first resolution is Resolution 1120-2023-1, reducing certain lines in the 2023 budget. Whereas the Common Council wishes to adopt a resolution reflecting the reductions in the adopted budget for 2023, now therefore be resolved by the Common Council of the City of Newcastle, Indiana as follows. The 2023 budget is hereby modified to be consistent with the attached Exhibit A with the highlighted lines in the adopted column reflecting the budget line appropriations that are reduced. And tell me if I'm wrong, Brenda, basically this is housekeeping, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to move that we pass Resolution 1120-2023-1.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Does anybody want to discuss anything or ask any questions? Okay, hearing none, we'll roll call vote.
Mike Duffy.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Jerry Walden.
Aye.
Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Mark Coker.
Aye.
Lynn Purdue.
Aye.
Rex Beckdahl.
Aye. Okay, that brings us to ordinances. Ordinance 3916, amending the 2023 salary ordinances. This will allow us, this is the ordinance that allows us to give our employees a $500 stipend in December. I move we pass this ordinance 3916 on second reading.
I'll second that motion.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Mike.
Hearing none, let's have a roll call vote.
Mike Duffy.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Jerry Walden.
Aye.
Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Mark Coker.
Aye.
Lynn Purdue.
Aye.
Rex Beckdahl.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules for the 3rd reading.
I'll second that. Lynn can second it. Okay, been moved and seconded, suspend the rules so we can do a 3rd reading. Roll call vote.
Mike Duffy.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Jerry Walden.
Aye.
Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Mark Coker.
Aye.
Lynn Purdue.
Aye.
Rex Beckdahl.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion, 3rd reading for 3916.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Seeing no discussion, roll call vote.
Mike Duffy.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Jerry Walden.
Aye.
Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Mark Coker.
Aye.
Lynn Purdue.
Aye.
Rex Beckdahl.
Aye. So that passes. approval and wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I hope our employees, I know they won't get that until December, they have a little better Thanksgiving knowing they'll have $500 more in their pocket at the end of the year. Meeting adjourned.
Matt?